Hey, today is Thursday, and actually just like yesterday, out of necessity, we're having to split today's Philip DeFranco show into two parts. Part 2 of today's Philip DeFranco show will be live on this channel in 2 hours. There, I have to be really vague about it in this video. I'll be talking about a very heavy, important, graphic topic. It's the kind of story that often gets suppressed on YouTube, not popping up in recommended or not as much, same with the homepage. And so we split it into 2 pieces so that can live there, and then this, part 1 of the Philip DeFranco show can, 1, be a good show on its own, as well as serve as a reminder for you to not miss that video, which, once again, it's great that you're subscribed. Thank you. Make sure you have that bell clicked, and it looks like this. Your bell is filled in and has like 2 little lines. I know this is a weird dance we've been having to do, but I don't want to not talk about important things just because I'm worried that it's gonna hit us. But with that said, welcome to part 1 of the Thursday Philip DeFranco show. Buckle up. Hit that like button and let's just jump into it. And the first thing we're gonna talk about today is one of the most requested stories today. So this story, it revolves around a YouTube couple, and don't worry, you don't need to know who they are to understand the story. Before this, I didn't know who they were. So the people at the center of this story are Micah Stauffer and her husband, James. And Micah, she runs a YouTube channel with over 700,000 subscribers where she posts videos about home organization, her experience as a mother. She also posts vlogs on a separate family channel that has over 300,000 subscribers. Also, I'd give you numbers regarding the vlog channel, but currently there's no content there. And you know, for years, this couple has shared intimate details about their lives as parents, from pregnancies to births and beyond. Notably for this story today, one of the most emotional experiences that they've shared has been their international adoption journey, with the Stauffers adopting a young boy by the name of Huxley from China in October of 2017. And actually, the video of him being brought home is the most viewed video on Micah's channel with over 5.5 million views. And you know, with this, Huxley ended up being kind of a big part of the channel. I mean, just according to Micah's channel, she shared 27 videos about her adoption journey, which is something that we'll touch on in a moment, because the reason we're talking about all of this, the reason Micah and James's faces have been in thumbnails on news sites all over this week, is that they released an update video and confirmed to the world that Huxley had actually been taken in by a new adoptive family. And in this video, the couple says that medical professionals in the adoption agency felt that it was best to find a better fit for Huxley after several evaluations. However, following this video, a ton of people are outraged with this news, accusing the family of exploiting the child and his story for sponsorships and monetized videos, but then giving up on him because of his special needs. Which, regarding that last point in the video, James says that Huxley has been in numerous therapies over the last few years to help with his severe special needs. Micah has also previously said he has reactive attachment disorder and level 3 autism, though the adoption agency initially told her he had brain damage and a brain tumor. And according to James, over the last year specifically, Huxley's therapy sessions have been more intense.
After multiple assessments, after multiple evaluations, numerous medical professionals have felt that he needed a different fit and that his medical needs, he needed more.
It also appears that in part they put out this video because fans have been asking about Huxley for months. Right? He hadn't appeared in any of their social media posts for a while, some even making Instagram accounts dedicated to finding answers about his whereabouts. And so as far as why they waited to announce this news to the world, James said,
"It's because we've been trying to protect his privacy, his rights, and also just try to not mess up his future that was laid out in front of us. We're trying our best to make sure we don't impact that at all by making this video."
Micah also explaining that she tried to share as little as she could about Huxley's situation because
anything that happened in the home that was hard for Hux, that's not fair for me to put out there publicly. That's his privacy. So we're not gonna talk about that. That's not appropriate. And that'll never be appropriate. I didn't adopt a little boy to share these things publicly.
Also saying they waited to talk about this because medical professionals have been allowing Huxley to spend time with different people to help him find his new, quote, forever family. And ultimately, they say that Huxley is now in a home that the adoption agency feels is the best fit for him, with a parent that has medical professional training. And in this, you have the couple saying that they're grieving. They've tried to help him as much as possible because they never wanted to be in this position.
Do I feel like a failure as a mom? Like 500%. So when you get like insidious, hurtful comments, it just like really makes it hurt worse. It's not about me at all, but it's just like this journey has been, the last couple months have been like the hardest thing I could have ever imagined choosing to do.
With the couple closing out their video by asking followers to respect their privacy and understand that they are hurting even if they are seen on social media in positive spirits. Right, so like I said, following this video, there was a lot of backlash, really brutal stuff out there. Some of the responses I can include though include, "I'm sorry, but you did fail as a mom. You wouldn't have given up your own child." Another writing, "Autistic children aren't puppies. They don't have forever families. They don't get rehomed, they get abandoned." Which brings us back to the vlog channel where, as of recording this video, there is no content content on it. Right, so it appears that they were deleted or recently turned private following all of this outrage. And on top of that, there are a ton of people who feel that the couple exploited Huxley for their channel, pointing to the fact that they monetized adoption videos and took sponsorships for them. We've also seen a number of people calling for the family to take all the videos of Huxley down, while others are sharing a change.org petition asking YouTube to remove monetization from those videos. Others have slammed Micah because she was viewed as an adoption advocate who wrote for parenting blogs and magazines, and she posted things suggesting she wouldn't trade Huxley for anything. Also with this story, there's a screenshot of a pinned YouTube comment that was allegedly written by Micah that's circulating the internet. However, I do want to note that comment is not currently pinned under her video, so I can't personally confirm right now if that is real. A member of the team has reached out for comment, but we haven't gotten anything back yet. The comment says that the family would never just give up a child with special needs. This is a personal matter to Hux. It had nothing to do with him just having autism. Going on to say, multiple scary things happened inside the home towards our other children. If these events happened with one of my biological kids, after all the help and after the behaviors we witnessed, sadly, we would have no other choice than to seek help and get their needs met. That comment also claiming that Huxley wanted this decision 100%, and added, we saw that in family time with other people, he constantly chose them and signed and showed tons of emotion to show us and let us know he wanted this. But ultimately, that is where we are with this story. Of course, I pass the question off to you. What are your thoughts on this? Because right now, as far as my opinion on this topic, even though we had so many people asking for us to cover this, I didn't know if I wanted to. You know, because the moment that I see the story, I hear the story, I immediately get enraged. But then I kind of have to take a step back because I know that my reaction is based off of my own personal experience. Right, I don't really talk about my childhood a lot, but one of the things that stemmed from it is a lot of the time I felt like I was not wanted, like I should not, I was always getting in the way, I was a problem. And so I don't want to take those feelings that I've probably never fully processed and project it onto these people in this situation, and maybe I'm blinded to nuance in a complicated situation, so I don't want to go at their throats, but I know that I feel something. And so I think the best way to end this story is, one, to pass the question off to you to help me maybe even process my feelings on this. What are your thoughts when it comes to this story in general? And two, if there is a note that I can end on, I just end up hoping that Huxley is okay. I hope it is true that he is happy and he is better off in this other place, and that the people love him and they want him and they're equipped to handle any and everything now that they have him. Because love is important, but support is important in the good and the bad, right? And so if there is that kind of hopeful thought, hopefully there's not like scars and emotional trauma, and he is in a much better place. Yeah, I think that's where I have to end this one. But from that, I want to share some stuff I love today, and today in Awesome, brought to you by SimpliSafe. And SimpliSafe, if you don't know, is the easy-to-use, completely customizable home security system that is effective and free from contracts or any hidden cost. And with SimpliSafe, your home is professionally monitored 24/7, and it's not just a noisemaker, because if anything happens, whether it be intrusion, fire, water damage, or a medical emergency, they'll make sure the police get called. With sensors that cover every window, room, and door, their system can tell the difference between a glass breaking and your actual window breaking. And if you lose power, Wi-Fi, or the system's attack, you're still protected because SimpliSafe is connected to cellular towers and not Wi-Fi or electricity. And I personally use SimpliSafe at my studio right outside my room, something that gives me peace of mind, especially while I'm alone here while people are quarantining. If you've watched a show before, you know in the past people have literally walked into my shoot room at other places, so better safe than sorry. But main point, if you want to start protecting your home today, head on over to simplisafe.com/DeFranco, or just click that link in the description down below. And the first bit of awesome is a reminder/announcement. You still have 4 more days to snag your limited edition One Day Will All Be Skeletons long sleeve hoodie or short sleeve. That of course available at shopdefranco.com. And also to everyone that's already ordered one, thank you for making this our best seller in years. Then we got an episode of Stir Crazy featuring Dakota Johnson. We got a jewelry expert critiquing rappers' chains. Then we got the season 4 trailer for F is for Family, which if you haven't watched the series and you need something, it's pretty great. It's Bill Burr's animated series, so if you like him, you'll probably like this. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, really anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. And then let's talk about an entertainment story I've been asked if I could give an opinion on. So there's this big YouTuber by the name of Tana Mongeau. We've covered her on the show for a number of times, usually controversies, lies, stuff like that. But the reason her name popped up in the news this week is that she has now launched an OnlyFans. Right, a very large creator and personality, all of a sudden going R and X rated. And if you're unfamiliar with OnlyFans, a lot of what people post over there, it's like lewd photos, sexy photos, sometimes nude, pornographic. And there's a bunch of different ways that the people who post that content can make money from it. Now, I have personally not subscribed to Tana's OnlyFans, but I've seen some people who have gone and followed her, and there are purchases where it's like if you want to see something, you have to pay like $44. People getting messages like, hey, join my VIP thing for $200. And looking at that, as far as my opinion on it, for her, sure, why not? I don't care. If someone wants to drop any money, let alone $44 or $200, okay, I think that's insane, but if you want to, fine. And I mean, for her, one, it doesn't seem too off-brand. This seems like something that she'd be like, yeah, why not? Part of her brand and appeal in general appears to be because she overshares, and this is just a different version of that. But also, two, this opinion comes from someone that I don't think that it's a big deal if someone creates an OnlyFans or like start sharing their body. I don't. That said, all I would say to someone that's thinking about doing it is, ask yourself two questions. One, human beings can be pretty shitty. You know this, you live amongst them. It is unfortunate and wrong, but you kind of have to ask yourself the question, am I okay if someone tries to hold this over my head in the future? They try to make me feel less than, or what would happen if people I care about, they saw it or their friends saw it? Is that something you're emotionally fine with, ready to navigate and deal with? Also, are you fine with the way that it might limit personal and business goals for you in the future? And two, if you're younger and you're asking yourself that question, understand that if what you're thinking when you're 18 to 24 isn't necessarily where your mind is going to be or who you are going to be when you're 35. And one of the things I've seen critics and shamers say is like, oh my God, let's say you're older and you imagine what the kid's gonna say when they find out their mom did blank. In my head, I'm like, I don't know, thank you for private school? I just don't think it's that big of a deal. It could also be where my head's at because for 14 years I've thought of myself and others, unfortunately, as products. If you told me right now, over the course of the next few years, I could make low millions of dollars because I showed my nipples, let's do it. Wait, what's that? I don't have to work 9 to 10 hour days anymore talking about the most depressing stuff in the world. I can just do what I want and then every now and then whip out my boobs? Yes, please. I'd love to see the sun between 7 a.m. and 5 p.m. on a weekday. Who cares? We're dumb piles of sentient meat. But once again, understand when you're making life choices that will affect you for the rest of your life. Understand that my opinion is not everybody's opinion. Now, like I even said, your opinion now may not even be your opinion later. Like we've literally seen teachers in the past lose their jobs because it turned out they modeled before and then someone found it and was like, oh, that's too risque. There's no way Miss Thompson can teach history if she had the self-confidence to take that photo. But all of that said, I guess the main point of this story is I'm very excited to announce philsnips.com, where right now a premium subscription is 90% off, meaning that 9 out of the 10 nips that you see in my photos are essentially free. This is so dumb. I can't include this in the show. I don't know what I'm doing with this. Actually, no, I am including this because I need something light and stupid amidst the horrible chaos. But sticking with PDS values, I do want to pass a question off to you. What are your thoughts on this? And it can be about Tana, but not even specifically about Tana. What do you think about, there's really been a rise in the number of people starting OnlyFans accounts. What do you think? Bad move or not a big deal? Good for you. And then let's talk about and expand on Donald Trump and Twitter and the implications we may now see. Right, so we touched on this yesterday, link down below to that, but we've seen a number of updates now. Now, if you missed that video, the oversimplified version is you had Trump tweeting about mail-in ballots. And in those tweets, he's really pushing the idea that mail-in ballots will lead to massive voter fraud, even though a majority of experts disagree. He also claims that California Governor Gavin Newsom plans to send mail-in ballots to everyone living in the state, quote, no matter who they are or how they got there. Notably, that is not true. Newsom actually plans to send ballots only to registered voters. And because these two tweets had misleading information, or as some people would put it, fear-mongering and a lie, you then saw Twitter slapping a fact-check warning over both of them. Trump lashes out saying it's stifling free speech and that he would strongly regulate or even close down social media platforms. Right, and with that, you had a number of people saying, well, how would he do that? What would that look like? Can he do that? Right, so that happens, and then the next thing we see are reports that Trump plans to take action against social media companies by way of executive order. That announcement coming yesterday evening from the White House press secretary, Kayleigh McEnany. As of recording this video, we don't know the details of that executive order yet, but Trump is expected to sign it by the end of the day. But according to a draft order that was allegedly obtained by CNBC, it'll target a 1996 statute that shields big tech companies from liability from their users' content. And that is because the statute also contains a section that allows platforms to remove material they find objectionable, all without them being treated like a publisher or the speaker. Right? And so that's pretty much the basis of why you have Trump and a lot of Republicans repeatedly accusing social media platforms of having an anti-conservative bias, essentially accusing them of getting rid of or invalidating conservative viewpoints. In fact, last night, a Trump administration official told Politico, these platforms act like they are potted plants, when in reality they are curators of user experience, i.e., the man behind the curtain for everything we can see or hear. That official going on to describe the order as broad and high level, saying it'll address complaints that the online platforms are deceiving people by picking and choosing what content to allow or block instead of acting as politically neutral platforms or moderators. Now, despite all of that, and in the face of it, we've seen Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey defending the move, saying that Trump's tweets, quote, may mislead people into thinking they don't need to register to get a ballot, ballot, only registered voters receive ballots. Dorsey also adding that Twitter will continue to issue fact-check warnings, and adding, fact-check, there is someone ultimately accountable for our actions as a company, and that's me. Please leave our employees out of this. We'll continue to point out incorrect or disputed information about elections globally, and we will admit to and own any mistakes we make. This does not make us an arbiter of truth. Our intention is to connect the dots of conflicting statements and show the information in dispute so people can judge for themselves. More transparency from us is critical so folks can clearly see the why behind our actions. And notably there, Dorsey used that phrase, arbiter of truth, and this seemingly to hit back at Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, who told CNBC yesterday.
I don't think that Facebook or internet platforms in general should be arbiters of truth. I think that's a kind of a dangerous line to get down to in terms of deciding what is true and what isn't. And I think political speech is one of the most sensitive parts in a democracy, and people should be able to see what politicians say. And there's a ton of scrutiny already. Political speech is the most scrutinized speech already by a lot of the media.
But with all of that said, with this story, there is the very big question of, well, how much power does Trump actually have to regulate social media platforms? And the answer found while looking into this is that without congressional action, it is limited, but it's also not unlikely that we could see congressional action here. This 1996 statute has been widely controversial on both sides of the aisle. I mean, for example, while he's not in Congress, earlier this year, we saw Joe Biden, the presumptive Democratic nominee, saying that the section which allows companies to remove objectionable content, it should be revoked. Yesterday, we also saw Republican Senator from Missouri, Josh Hawley, say, why should Twitter continue to get special treatment from government as a mere distributor of other people's content if you were going to editorialize and comment like a publisher? Shouldn't you be treated like a publisher? With Hawley also going on to say that he'll introduce legislation to end these special government giveaways and that Twitter should be divested of its special status under federal law. We've also seen Trump ally Representative Matt Gaetz announcing that he plans to propose similar legislation in the House. Still, with that said, legislation like this will likely face opposition. And I say that partly because, back in October, we saw Republican Representative Kathy McMorris Rodgers say, I want to be very clear. I'm not for gutting Section 230. It's essential for consumers and entities in the internet ecosystem. Misguided and hasty attempts to amend or even repeal Section 230 for bias or other reasons could have unintended consequences for free speech and the ability for small businesses to provide new and innovative services. We've also seen Senator from Connecticut, Richard Blumenthal, essentially blaming Trump and other Republicans of playing political theater with these fact-check labels, saying whatever the credible criticisms of current law, Trump's demagogic meat axe attack is exactly wrong. He intimidates free speech and imperils responsible reform. It's condemnable. Also, interestingly enough, and understand I am filming this before we have a finalized, definitive version of what this executive order is, we're seeing reports that if the finalized version of this is similar to the draft, the executive order would, quote, seek to strip liability protection in certain cases for companies like Twitter, Google, and Facebook for the content on their sites, meaning they could face legal jeopardy if they allowed false and defamatory posts. Without a liability shield, they presumably would have to be more aggressive about policing messages that press the boundaries, like the president's. Especially because, as that report points out, while the president has talked about censorship, his tweet is still up there. It's not deleted. It is just now also accompanied by that link to get more information. And update, as we were preparing to put this video out, we actually saw Trump sign that order. And all of this, of course, still developing, but it does appear that this order is in line with the draft that we just talked about. On top of that, you also had Trump saying that he plans to pursue legislation in Congress, as well as Attorney General William Barr saying that the Justice Department is preparing to sue social media companies, saying those companies have stretched the statute way beyond its original intention. But that is where we are with this right now. We're going to keep an eye on this situation. We're going to have to wait and see what happens here. But, yesterday I asked, what do you think about Twitter, what they're doing, what should they do? The question I'll pass today is, what do you think about Trump's posturing here? And are you concerned, happy, confused about what he may be doing here? Of course, let me know what you're thinking and why. And that is where I'm going to end today's show. As always, thank you for watching, hitting that like button on this video, being a part of the conversation in those comments down below. If you're new here and you like this video, or you hated this video but you want more of that in the future, be sure to hit that subscribe button. Definitely tap that bell to turn on notifications all the time. Also, if you're looking for more to watch, maybe you missed one of yesterday's shows, I have a brand new podcast out, or in the description, if it's been that long, you can watch part 2 of today's Philip DeFranco show. But with that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you next time.
I hope you liked the video. Subscribe if you like it.